Multitasking. You got to do it so you can succeed, right? Actually, I don't think so. Let me explain why. Let's jump into this episode. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist Podcast. I'm your host, Donald C. Kelly, the Sales Evangelist. And I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And today I want to tackle a topic. This is part 2 of my Back to Basics series. The other day I mentioned that it was there's a 6-part series. It's actually a 7-part series. The team was able to help correct me. So 7-part series. I'm going for 7 episodes, and we're just going back to basics because the reason I'm doing this, oftentimes I work with sellers, teams, individuals, say a selling founder. And one of the things that they always come back to is just these fundamental things that they have questions on, that they miss. And even veteran sellers are just not doing some of the fundamental things. So I'm going back to basics with this series. So last time gave you a little bit about following up because that one comes up often. Today I'm going to talk about multitasking, how to do it, should you do it, why and why not. Now, I'm going to give you straight out the bat the answer, but before I do that, I want to let you know that if you're a first-time listener to the podcast, go ahead and connect with me on LinkedIn, Donald C. Kelly. Again, Donald C. Kelly. And what I'll do there, I'll connect with you and personally chat. I just appreciate and I love getting a chance to connect with you and to learn about what you're facing and some of the challenges and how we can best help you. This show is designed to help you to 1, build pipeline, and 2, to be able to increase your close rate. If you're looking to join our sales mastermind, it's a private group. We have cohorts where sales professionals like yourself come together. We share our challenges. We help you to achieve your goals. And it's been fabulous to see some of the sales teams that come through the program. One guy that continued to come through our program, he shared recently how this was able to help him get 150% of his quota. And he just practiced his thing. We helped him with his sales challenges, helped him to be able to found the proper way of prospecting. He got a place to practice and to work with other sales professionals in different industry, and it just skyrocketed when he had a specific goal and he had specific targets every single week. It was remarkable, and we see this time and time again. If you want to find out more information, go to thesalesevangelist.com/mastermind. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into this episode. Multitasking. What's my feelings on it? It doesn't work. And I don't care how you skin the cat, it doesn't work. Let me paint a picture for you. You're a sales professional and you probably have like 40 to 50 tabs, maybe not that much. Let's be realistic. Maybe you have 10 to 15 tabs open right now. You have your Chrome, you have Google. On Chrome, you have Google, you may have your CRM, you may have LinkedIn, you have multiple people's LinkedIn profile picked up. You may have multiple tabs in your CRM open. You have your phone system that you have open, and you have like maybe something else, maybe like a tool like Full and Rich or whatnot. You have so many different tools, and then you got like maybe Apollo. So you have so many tools and so many windows open. In your mind, you feel that you can switch back from one thing to another and you're not skipping a beat, but you're actually being more productive. But the studies have proven time and time again, our ability we think as human that we have that capability to be able to switch back and forth and to do it effectively. But in actuality, we're doing one thing at a time. We're doing multiple things, one thing at a time, just little bit by little bit, and we're doing horrible at them. If we were to slow down and actually just focus on one task in each of those situations, it would be much better off for us. I want to give you some data and I'll give you some practical things that you can do as a sales professional. So the first thing I want to go back to, I thought this was pretty fascinating when it came to multitasking. It said, here we go. Studies have shown that multitasking can impair working memory and reduce cognitive flexibility, leading to a decrease in productivity. So focusing on a single task at a time enhances efficiency and the quality of your work. And I don't know if this paints a picture for you, but it does for me. I know when I have LinkedIn open and I'm going to look, I say I'm prospecting and I'm looking at, I open up Apollo and I have this lead that I'm working on and I'm trying to multi-thread, and then I find in their phone number and email. I click on the LinkedIn feature, and then I go to LinkedIn, and I'm looking at details on them and thinking about how I can connect with this person and to start a conversation. And then from there, I find myself going in a rabbit hole because then I get distracted by LinkedIn, and I see a post from somebody else in my space that I thought was pretty cool, and I start watching that. And then next thing you know, I realize I need to go back into prospecting and do what I need to do. And times again, I just find myself digging and going deeper into random stuff, and I'm not really focusing. But I say I'm going to do a phone call, and then I have email open, and then when I go back into my email, I go through a web of different communications because all of a sudden maybe I thought I sent them something before, but maybe I didn't, or perhaps I did, and I'm trying to see what happened. But then an email comes in from HR or from one of the team members, and a Slack message pop up, and I get so distracted. So all of these things happen, and I know that that was just like a situation there because I'm just trying to multitask. I'm going to respond to the Slack message, also reply to the email for the HR folks, as well as to make sure I get this person's information to make a phone call. All of this lead to such a lack of effectiveness. My message suck that I send in the email. My Slack message doesn't really capture and respond properly to the things that need to get done, because then another one comes in and it just distracts me, and then I never get the prospecting efforts done. And we're going to talk about that actually in part 3 in this series about prospecting. But in this case of multitasking, my deal with it is to not do it. And I get it. It's hard to think about that. It's hard not to do a couple things at a time. But here's what I would tell you. Try to isolate the situation. So if you're going to do prospecting, naturally you're going to need to do certain things beforehand. So my tip to you when it comes towards that is give you my here. I wrote some notes down because I really want you to get this. I want you to specifically, when it comes to your task, identify what you are trying to get done. What's the goal of that task? So let's say prospecting. My goal in doing prospecting, I'm going to try to get 5 conversations over the next hour and try to get 1 appointment book. So over that 1 hour period of time, I need to do that. Now, this doesn't mean in that 1 hour I need to do research, because this is where we mess up. Take 30 minutes to research, and you might say, I want to reach out to 5 deals, 5 potential people, or 5 accounts. So I'm going to look at those 5 accounts, and I'm going to do my quick research for them, maybe 3 minutes each. You can set a timer, and I can find some quick points or some quick entry level conversation points with that. And then I'm going to I do my research beforehand, and then for 30 minutes, and then I'm going to spend the next hour doing that outreach. So an hour and a half worth of prospecting, 30 minutes of research, and an hour of outreach. Now, in the moment while I am reaching out to the person, perhaps I'm not saying you're not going to do any snooping on LinkedIn while you're making a phone call. Of course, you probably can do that, but I would love for you to be prepared before you actually make the actual call, because I found that when you do that, you perform so much better, and it's so much more effective in the long run. So that's the very first thing. 1, have a goal for the specific task. And then 2, if you're doing prospecting, make sure you set the 30-minute do your prep time, and then you actually do your prospecting efforts. The next thing I want you to do when it comes towards this is to put it on your calendar. So now you know when you're going to do it, but specifically it's what time, what day you're going to have that set up. The other part that you need to do is to make sure that activity becomes sacred time, and you have to become unrealistic with it in some instances where you're not going to let that time get interrupted or get intruded on by other things. You're going to get emails, you're going to get Slack messages. What I want you to do is to do your very best to put those at a later time, or put them at have a specific time in your calendar when you can break towards helping this. And this is important when it comes to your specific activity too. Here's a benefit of breaks. Research supported by the National Institute of Health found that taking short breaks during learning tasks can help the brain consolidate information, leading to improved skills acquisition and performance. Now, I would take that and apply the same thing not only to learning tasks, but in this execution task as well. So if I'm doing this outreach to a particular prospects on LinkedIn or phone, and trying to just land those 5 appointments, it makes sense to take breaks. So maybe after every couple of those every hour or whatnot, you take a little break. If you're working from home, you can go walk the dog, or go walk around the block or something like that. Walk for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Taking that little break helps you. Maybe I have one of my friends who did push-ups, and it's one of the things I tried to do at one point, and I need to continue to improve on that. But taking a little break and doing a push-up in between, some push-ups in between, but that allows for you to be able to take just your brain to be able to reset and to get back into that task. So that's the other component with it, taking a little break and being strictly focused with it. And then a final component I want you to understand is that the time limit. You can do, here's one of the ones that the 90-minute focus period is one that I like, and there's also studies about 52 minutes. There's one school of thought for the 90-minute work cycle, and there's something called the ultradian rhythms. This suggests that the human brain operates optimally in cycles of approximately 90 minutes, followed by a period of rest. This pattern, known as the basic rest activity cycle, or BRAC, indicates that after about 90 minutes of intense focus, the brain requires a break to maintain peak performance. Another one was the 52-17 productivity rule. An analyst by the productivity app Desk Timer revealed that the most productive individuals work for 52 minutes followed by a 17 minutes break. This work cycle ratio allows the brain to rest and recharge, leading to sustained and high performance throughout the day. So there's multiple studies, multiple different research that's leading to around this time period, whether you do an hour or an hour and a half, but around that same time period you're just looking at. So I would say I like that 90 minutes doing an hour of activity, and then I have some, maybe some prep time or whatnot and taking a break. You can probably do an hour or whatnot, but this allows for us to be able to really focus intently and then to go and do the other things that we are trying to do. Or take a little break or whatever. Go look at your fantasy football lineup, and you can schedule that in your time, or just put break. But in that break period, you have some time to do stuff, and in that break period, that's where you go check your Facebook message or your Instagram messages, or TikTok or whatever social media app. But you don't want to waste your time during your peak performance towards doing those things. The goal I found to be very, very helpful of that, and that micro goal, again, I'm going to do for 30 minutes or for an hour. I'm going to do 25 cold outreach. I can check off when I'm doing that. I literally have my paper if you guys have seen it before, we have our sales planner. You can get one of these on Amazon. Just go to the salesevangelist.com, Amazon.com, and search for the Sales Evangelist Sales Planner. You can check it out. And you can get a copy of that. But I literally will write down notes inside of that and check that I've done my calls. And it just does something to be able to check that off my brain, and check that off for my brain. I get all excited, and it's dopamine that I'm doing stuff. I'm being productive. And if I don't have my 5 conversations, I'm going to try my very best. If I don't have that one appointment, as it comes down to the last 15 minutes, I'm going to work my best to do so. But that goal for that particular time period is critical, and you put that on the calendar. So the multitasking idea, again, I just don't like it. I would encourage you not to do it. You choose to what you want to do, but multitasking is going to distract you. And for me, it gives me more anxiety. I just feel at the end of the day that I didn't get anything done. I felt like I did a whole lot of nothing. But when I really focus, and if you say if I did like maybe 5, 6, 7, just meaningful things, I feel, and I'm focusing on those things at a time, I get so much more done rather than the little bit of everything and nothing done. I would love to get your feedback on this, get your opinion. You can connect with me on LinkedIn and share your thoughts. You can have a contrarian view or whatnot, but go to this linkedin.com, Donald, and then search for me, Donald C. Kelly, and drop me a message. Would love to hear. And if you're curious about our mastermind to see how we practice some of these things, how you get a chance to be in a group with other sellers to help elevate yourself to an elite level and to reach your maximum performance, especially going in Q1, go to thesalesevangelist.com/mastermind. Again, thesalesevangelist.com/mastermind. As a recap, as your multitasking sucks. It doesn't work. Make sure you focus, have a goal, make sure you you got to be unrealistic with your time period there that you have written off, and don't let just don't let anyone come back in and try to take that time. You just, in some ways, if you're unrealistic in some way, you get so much more done. But if you start to become more lenient, well, it's my boss, and if this is other person, and all these other things, I'm dropping my pen. You make all these excuses, but just make this time your focus time, and for this 90 minutes, and you can return a call after that time period, unless it's an emergency and your kid need help. You gotta or your spouse, go ahead and take care of that, your partner or whatnot. Then the other thing is close the unwanted windows. Kind of talked a little bit about that, but I just want to make sure you're focusing on the right things. Close everything else. I know you have a bunch of tabs open. Don't go into that habit. Just close the tabs and just focus on. It's going to help you to see a much better performance. And we talked about that as well. Like when you're focused, you just get so much more done. Take the short breaks. Go walk around a block, or if you're at the office, I used to walk around a building, listen to some music or listen to a podcast. This is a great podcast you can listen to. And then just have fun, man. If you're having these goals and you're working towards them and having fun to achieve that, amazing things will start happening. So go ahead and connect with me on LinkedIn. Find more information. Check out our sponsors as well. They have amazing offers for you. I want you to thrive. I want you to succeed. I want you to raise your level of thinking. But most importantly, I want you to go out, do big things. See you on the next one.